Alright, time to start our main mission. As mentioned in the previous part, now basically the game is gonna have a sort of a mini episodic structure in a sense that this will serve as your mini hub now, being now part of the, the Navi tribe, the specific Navi tribe, and you will have to jump in different sessions of Pandora in order to collect stuff that will help the tribe reconnect with the others via one of their spirit trees.
In Swotulu. Only he can help. Humans must not find
Yeah, the Well of
hidden
Souls.
well of souls.
Got it. Falco gets there first, we're finished.
Renee Harper warned of Falco. We will ride out on Ikran. We go when you are ready.
Okay.
Get your Ikran. We ride together to Swotulu.
Ikran?
Benji, in your...
Yeah, the flying thing with the, the teeth.
Yeah.
Wait.
He got his sword out for a second. I thought he was going to execute him.
Shing!
Wait, hold on. Banshee in your tongue. So that means that these guys are not only fluent in their own language, but also are fluent enough in human language to know how to
Remember,
translate
he literally just mentioned the Sigourney Weaver's character is actually taught something about human culture to them.
Oh, I get that. But I mean, man, they're quick learners to have pretty much become that fluent to the human language.
Yeah. Remember, the thing is that despite what the movie and this suggested, human presence on Pandora have been there for quite a bit because of the RDA that wants to mining the Raritanium. Sorry, not the Raritanium. Sorry, been on a trip with the Ratchet & Clank recently. The Unobtainium.
I guess to give this game credit, it does expand on that lore, so that's nice.
No, but the point is that they've been quite up for a while, so it makes sense that their implanting program with the Avatar program, would try to have these, these more blending in kind of process, But you have to remember that Sigourney Weaver's character, oh, that's Robin Akindos, by the way. Wow, great line.
Do they know Spanish as well?
Nope.
Because otherwise, then you just spoke gibberish to them, my dude.
You just made a very questionable joke for the sake of it, dude. What was I saying? Right, the Sigourney Weaver's character. No, Sigourney Weaver's character, however, if you remember from the movie as well, she tries to have the process of being as natural as possible because she wants to respect, the Navi race, rather than just being the very cartoony, kill everyone at minimal sight, stuff like Quaritch does.
I forget.
So yeah. Sorry, go on.
Was Sigourney Weaver listed for the casting on Avatar 2?
Yes, I didn't mention him on the previous part, but just to recap quickly. If you remember, she did technically died in the previous movie, but the thing is that, as she also mentioned, one of her last lines that she mentioned, she actually merged with the conscience of the deity that the Navi are worshipping. So it's strongly suggested that for the sequel, she's gonna be essentially the mission control, kinda like.
Imagine that, or she becomes a literal goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And comes back even stronger than before.
Yeah, to go even beyond. So yeah, now the structure will be for you to go into these worlds, do a set of missions, involving that until you actually manage to find what you're looking for, particular stones and that needs to be reactivated, and a tree that needs to be reactivated, specifically for the region, and then you're able to go back to the hub. Again, it's fairly simplistic, but fairly doable. It's nothing too spectacular, but again, for a licensed game done around this time, it's still pretty interesting how the dedication that Ubisoft poured into it. I can tell you this: I was playing in these days when we're recording this, the Golden Compass video game for comparison, which I did promise to take a look on my own, and that one instead is as shallow as you can get. The presentation is very, very bad, and the actual gameplay and performances are clunky as shit. And that one was also, like, both of these products were on the same shelves and I had to look at them, For $60, I will probably go for this more than that, because at least with this I get more gameplay experience, and something with content, actually, something that's more stable and has some more engagement. Because that was the problem with a lot of these licensed games back in the day. Well, sometimes to this day, of course, but not as common as before. The fact that you had to spend full price for something that just wasn't worth it, and you should have spent $10 at the best. And that's if the game was not complete garbage that hated you. In that case, you shouldn't have spent any amount of money for that.
Like, a game can have its own quality. Well, any product of entertainment can have its own qualities. But I tell you, the price tag attached to it can add on a lot of depth to reactions to it, essentially. Like, when you are essentially charging AAA game price, you better bring AAA game effort. Otherwise, it will feel like a waste. Even if it's a fine game, if it's like just fine, but you're charging this much through the nose for it, you're gonna get some backlash for that these days.
There we go. Also, another thing, the sectors do have their own set of mini mission that you can complete. Doing so, if I recall correctly, gives you extra points that you can use in the Risk style minigame.
Alright.
Also, yes, at some point, unless it's specifically required for the mission for you to progress, it's just best to ignore the soldiers, grab a mount, and sprint towards your objective, because otherwise you might lose time and actual health.
True.
Yeah, and you will see me cutting a lot and doing some minor speed up, because again, unfortunately, one of the downsides of this is that there's a lot of going back and forth through these maps without doing pretty much anything substantial. So it's okay when it comes to actually playing, because it takes a while, they have to reload and everything. But for commentating purposes, not really. For example, in this case, you have to destroy this particular vehicle along things that just loves to bombard the shit out of you, and I think I'm about to get seasick just because the camera keeps shaking like this for every explosion. My God.
The immersion of shaky cam. Also, I love how the filter went from fire background to suddenly regular in a flash there.
That's because it's my health bar. Remember, look at that. When I'm not in combat, it's actually regenerating, so I was actually in critical at that moment.
Oh, I know. But one of those ones, it literally just blinked back. Like, it didn't even gradually become normal. It just literally blinked back to normal. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I'm guessing Sigourney Weaver's character decided to keep this whole thing a secret for the future of
Could
the movie.
be. Yeah, in terms of plot for this one, yeah, I guess that's the headcanon we're going with. Again, there is technically I don't remember if they stated which ending is specifically the canon one for the purpose of this game, but considering everything, there's only one that makes sense the most compared to what happened with the movie. So.
Well, okay, to be fair, either way, there is a traitor involved, so my guess is like, Sigourney Weaver's character decided not to report this in the future, given the fact that, well, we see now she later sides with the aliens as well. So,
Zavi, yeah.
Zavi. So maybe she just figured that the military had this coming to them, or she had her reasons.
You also have to remember what I said also in the previous parts. Quaritch is still not in command, and yeah, I can tell you this because it's slightly spoilerish, but not really when you get down to it. The human campaign showcased the fact that how he takes command, actually, because of the circumstances that happened. So you can tell that this game is more of this was the status quo, but it slowly shifts into what happens, at the beginning of the movie for story reasons.
Oh,
and
God.
yeah, she dies.
She died and vanished in a puff of smoke. She was one of the natives from Pan.
You can tell this is more serious because the colors have been desaturated for this section.
True, it's just that maybe they shouldn't have her disappeared in a puff of smoke. Like, okay, I get why they did it.
Like it's an RPG character, yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of a bit awkward with the mood.
You're hurt. Are you Unape? I can help you. Listen, I need to find Lungare.
You
You bring evil upon us. I should spare you myself.
Lady, could you stop staring at his crotch, please?
She's gravely wounded, Jova.
But her eyes are literally directed right at his crotch.
Jova, the Navi don't have anything on their crotches. They procreate through their hair.
I still actually have to see properly the day entry on the data log that talks about the reproduction.
So, in a way, would actually looking into their eyes be considered stop staring at my you-know-what?
Could be.
So if anything, staring at the crotch is actually them being polite. We're learning quite a bit about the Navi.
Next level, including new set of websites. Again, Jova, the Avatarpedia, the Avatar Encyclopedia included in this is very extensive. Again, I wouldn't mind. I think I mentioned this in part 1 or 2, but I wouldn't mind it as much because I do like being, enlightened in any way I can. Especially when it's actually official content that people actually put it to be used. But the problem is that it's presentation-wise, it's a bit discouraging for someone more casual. Like I said, compare it to the entries in the Castlevania Lords of Shadow games. We have these old-time book with these the pages, and sure, to potentially to a fault, because in 2 the ink is a bit worn out and thus a bit more difficult to read, and you have to wait to spend a bit more time to actually look at it. But it was actually well integrated with the story and everything, and it was inviting for you to read. In here, sure, it makes sense considering this is more of a sci-fi kind of series, but it's also a bit more disheartening than anything. And yes, just standing on a fucking bulldozer makes me risk to die, actually.
Oh goody, it's one of those bots where you're allergic to so much as touching enemies.
There are ways. The way to defeat it is actually destroy its antenna right on top. Don't ask how it works.
That's kind of a point
it
to put on a war vehicle.
It technically disables them. Sure, it doesn't actually destroy them, but still.
That seems like a little bit too easy of something to get shot off in the middle of war. Just saying, military.
Yeah. But there is another bulldozer, and then after that you actually have to disable a tower. This mission is fine for what it wants to do.
Anyway, when it comes to the encyclopedia, yeah, I do appreciate all the details it does include. And to give it credit, at least it's not like 13 where it feels like you need to read it to understand what's going on in the game's plot. That being said, I can understand how there is still just a ton of that stuff. Holy cow.
Also, that phone looks like a banana.
Yeah, I was about to say too.
Oh, banana. It was more of a walkie-talkie than anything, but still, Jesus Christ.
I know, right? That thing looked humongous. I mean, I guess they'll be good on potassium, at least.
Well, that's the entire point of bananas on nutrition level.
Yeah. So what are we going to do with this tower, then?
We need to actually destroy it. This one actually, there you go, there you go. We need to literally destroy like that.
With boulders, damn.
If the towers that easily destroyed, then they aren't very good towers. Okay, another thing, remind me, I've forgotten exactly this part of the lore of Avatar. If you, is it like in the Matrix, where if you kill the human that's currently inhabiting a form, the Avatar just drops dead?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, that's what happened with our main character. It happened, but they managed to rescue the Avatar body and save and transfer the conscience properly with the tree process. Remember, this is a different tribe of Navi, meaning that the events of the movie where they do it for the first time overall, is still preserved.
Lungore may be one of them.
Okay, where's he at?
Or DA camp.
She's talking really good for someone that's injured. Almost, I'd imagine they'd be like really trying to say it through the pain. Like,
okay,
help me, please.
I guess to be fair, it does depend on what's injured. Now, if it were, say, her throat or she were bleeding out, then Yeah, definitely would have trouble talking. She doesn't.
Also, the bloom. Okay, I know that it was a common thing for the PS3 era, but Jesus Christ, sometimes the bloom is so distracting.
That was the weird thing about the PS3 era. Either games looked too dark, or when they tried to quote-unquote brighten stuff up, they used bloom, which in hindsight just
funny.
makes it weird to look at.
Deadly Premonition, anybody?
I forgot. Oh,
Oh
Jesus
god,
Christ.
yeah, the bloom
there
and
was,
deadly premonition.
I forgot if there probably was also an example for Americans, but there was a mini webcomic in my country that was, made in my country actually, that was actually included in some PlayStation magazines, some of the ones that I read, and even in its first 1 or 2 years of existence for that generation of console, even they poked fun at the whole bloom effect by having basically the screen of the panel almost explode because of the lighting.
You know, Pedro, I'm forever baffled that the best looking version of Deadly Premonition might very well be the very first release of that game still.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a game over. If you don't have any more, remedies, as in that 0 at the bottom of your health bar, you do get a game over once you actually get down.
But that's what happens to both Deadly Premonition and Sonic Adventure 1. With each new port, they get progressively worse.
How's Deadly Premonition 2, in terms of...
It still hasn't come out on PC.
The PC version has yet to come out because for whatever...
I was talking about how is it currently in holding itself
version.
together.
Oh, no, right now it's fine. Obviously, it's not ideal, considering it's toy box, but it's playable.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that remains the best version. Like, Deadly Premonition hasn't exactly had the best of history with PC.
That's the thing, Joe. We still need the PC version of 2 still has to come out for it to be compared.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
They announced what Toybox did is they announced the PC version, and after that, silent treatment.
Have you actually checked instead? Sorry, go on.
Is it because Toybox remember what happened the last time they tried a PC port and are definitely afraid of the consequences?
Probably. Yes, too.
Have you actually checked instead the Good Life? I know that one actually has come out.
Yeah, Good Life is actually really good.
So would you say Deadly Premonition 2 was in like a good enough state to be commentated on yet, or are there still stuff that they're fixing?
Oh yes, there is, but I still want to
Ma'am?
Okay.
Where were you even going for a bit there?
Okay.
Nothing to see here, Tangents.
Well, I guess she doesn't push you around like an NPC.
Seriously, if these military installations are so easily destroyed by the comparatively more primitive weapons of the Na'vi, then this military really sucks.
I guess to be fair, they're said to be a private military and not the
I was about to mention. Remember, the RDA is not technically a government. It's actually a private company. It's like, imagine basically kind of like the Shinra Corporation having their own military forces in this case. They're not even technically mercenaries. They're just literally a company hired specifically for the RDA. So there is that. It's just that I don't know if it is mentioned in the encyclopedia. It could also be in the different composition of the planets, chemicals that makes stuff like what is considered sturdy on Earth, less resistant, like metal. Sometimes on metal could be that. But I'm just guessing for the time being.
You free my people. For that, I owe you debt. I will try to live.
Oh no,
Cool.
I am conveniently dying, so I won't need to repay you debt.
Nah.
Can you imagine her just being petty enough to do that?
Yeah, I don't want to repay my debt, so I'll just lose the will to live. And hey, it was easy for Padme to do that. Why can't I do it?
I was student at human school. Before the killing, it was my passion to speak your words. Now, I only have
I used to be their friends, but now I'm something else.
War destroys people.
Now they betrayed me.
Now I want revenge.
Don't kill my steed, please. Jesus Christ.
Very rude.
Wow, dick AI.
Very inconsiderate.
Oh snap.
Yeah. Remember, the horse-like animals of Pandora are not really, violent in nature, but they do respond actually if attacked. So at the very least, there is
And
that.
now your horse is trying to kill you. Damn,
No,
dude.
no. It was just very unfriendly. Thankfully, there is another, so... Well, I actually don't think I need it. There we go. Because I need to go to the cave, I think, where they actually... There we go. Where they actually have this person that we're looking for, Longoray. There we go. Yeah, you get also experience not just by destroying, by killing humans, but also by destroying like their structures, like the turrets or the vehicles. This is clearly something that is used also in the multiplayer, and they just carry it over here. So there is that. You have to remember that this game also was mostly meant, in terms of gameplay, mostly for the multiplayer, and the single-player campaign was not kind of tacked on because they had a story to work with and everything, and it's fairly complex, But they had the gameplay in mind mostly for the multiplayer, more than anything. So most of the gimmicks that you do see, despite having some gameplay and some integration, like the whole "do not kill," the fauna of Pandora, they are still properly made just for the multiplayer. Go. And yes, the bows and arrows of the Navi are disgustingly OP. They can one-shot most of the humans, actually. I get it that the RDA, uniforms are not really resistant. They are actually simple camos that are made for the jungle environment. So obviously an arrow will be able to pierce that, but still. There we go. Their exoskeletons, when actually occupied, are also a bit more of a pain in the ass because they suffer from a common AI problem that a lot of games similar to this tend to have. The fact that when you're attacking an enemy, the enemy is compelled to actually turn towards you. So no matter if you're trying to attack from behind, they will always find a way to always try to be in front of you, and you can never actually have a decent advantage against them. You have seen it a bit in this part, but you'll be able to see it, in the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the looking different, the weapons and the armors that you get from upgrading level also have better stats. So you're basically once you actually get a new weapon, the old one becomes obsolete just unless you really like the way it looked. But they're mostly just palette swaps anyway. So all right, let's go free some prisoners. Forgot if I actually did mention the score. Give me a second.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
There's a cell sample. Huh, surprised you didn't go collect it.
No, I did.
Really? It looked like the glowing icon was still there after you left.
Oh, actually, yeah, speaking of the exoskeletons, I forgot.
It's a trap!
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Alright, the composer is Chance Thomas. Let me see what else he did. Oh, he did the music for Quest for Glory 5. How random. Also, Police Quest Swap 2. Some of the Lord of the Rings games and the Hobbit games. The X-Men official game. Oh, the Peter Jackson's King Kong one. The video game, mind you. And more recently, he has been doing stuff for Dota 2. The last major things that he composed was in 2018. He has done some minor movie compositions and some television stuff, but not that much. Oops. Alright, let's go up. The drones also are like, okay, no, this is not actually a drone. But the normal drones are actually a bit more interesting because we have seen probably in one of the previous parts, but they have a tendency of literally kamikaze against you for some reason, instead of actually trying to shoot you. So they're more of a pain in the ass than anything. All right, let's sabotage this.
There we go.
It's a thing of beauty.
Uh-huh.
Also, the bottle just froze in place. Jesus, the one of the Banshee.
Well, that was embarrassing.
Alright, next up, if I recall correctly, we're gonna start collecting those crystals, like I did mention. Again, each sector takes sometimes they take their sweetest time to actually let you go there because they wanted to explore it using the other obligatory missions that they do have, like kill this human settle camp, tame this beast, and so on.
You are truly Nam Samsiyu, great warrior. Lungare, he calls for you. The path of willows will lead you to him. This is where
And
we
now
fight.
it is time for me to
Honor
die.
with your fight, Remoker.
The honor is mine, my friend.
I will spread
Oh
words
no,
of
she'll
your
live.
Yeah, she actually needed some rest, Jova, for that. Basically, remember those, use also these for, remember, it's a game making you remember to use these to also, to fast travel. But yeah, that was, if I recall correctly, one of the crystals that you need. So getting 2 more of these, and then we should be able to quote-unquote sing at the tree of this sector.
Crystals.
Of course.
Don't.
Okay, this is not funny. Go get back here.
Excuse me, sir. Just chasing after this crystal. Don't mind me.
Nothing to see here, folks.
This crystal has a weird sense of humor.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll kill these humans. Happy now, game. Jesus.
I believe the crystal was that way.
No, if I recall correctly, if there's a dead end like this, I either have to climb or there's something that I'm still missing, or I'm potentially up above than that. Oh, actually, no, there you go. There was exploding plants I needed to detonate. There you go. There we go. Oh, Officer Kendra.
Huh. Speaking of which,
Falco's gone too far. The camp is in an uproar. I'm gonna try
that's
to
Sigourney
find a secure
Weaver's
channel.
character,
Keep
right?
this line
Nope.
open. Right,
It's the officer we met in the first
right,
part.
yeah, her.
Falco's gathering
been a while
harmonics
since
to
we've
find
seen
something
that
called
first
a well of souls.
Well of souls. You don't say.
Yeah, the humans are searching for it too.
Planning to use it to wipe out the Navi. I'll try to find out more. Looks like you got yourself another Kendra out.
Oh, it seems that there's another mole in the Navis, but who could it be? Ow.
Just remember, everything on Navi wants to kill you.
Yeah, on Pandora, yes. Alright, we found finally Longoray. Let's talk to him.
Ooh.
Okay, can you stop? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, even your steed wants to kill you.
Yeah, and I don't want another interrupting, animal that just bashes.
I mean, at least it didn't kill you
Man who
guys.
is not man, and Navi who is not Navi. You are a puzzle. Piece of Ewa's puzzle. I see you, Dreamwalker.
Hi. Yes.
Okay, how much weed
hi
has this
to you
guy
too.
been doing?
Walk my dreams. Long have you
Yes.
sought me, but it is I who seek you. Yes, yes, yes. First, you will need the shard to do it. Find energy in rocks. Yes, Ewa provide.
Okay, I guess if I can give this game credit,
About
they do
that,
give a lot of
Awa's about to get
personality
her
and
ass kicked.
differences to
We
each
need to find one
Navi
of those dormant
character as
holy
opposed to
sites.
just
Well of Souls.
each one
What the
having the
movie did.
typical...
Thrain, Thrain, you seek forgotten songs. Only then will you find the Vitraya Ramunong.
This guy is
First,
weirdly friendly,
find
but maybe a
shards.
little too
Yes.
friendly.
We
Getting to the
find
point
them
where I have
in
to
Willowgate.
wonder how much
Many
weed is he
Taltuk
doing.
have invaded the sacred place. This is why Ewa sent you to me.
More killing.
They give us no choice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it does look into the nuances of why they have to do what they do, which is
Again,
kinda more than the
collect
movie
the
did.
shard, the crystal, as he said.
Dormant Well of Souls. Dormant. I guess that means it's dead. Falco figures he can bring it back to life. And if he does that, he'll destroy the Navi.
Somehow.
I'm not sure how I fit into all this, but Tangela and the Tahi seem to think I'm important. That's a good thing, because they'll keep Beidamo off my back. He won't give me a break. I better prove my worth. Fast.
Who are you talking to?
Again, that's also another thing. He somehow still manages to do an audio journal despite everything.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised, I'm surprised in these audio journals, no one ever really gets caught making them.
Well, some do, and they get killed literally mid-recording.
Mid-sentence, yeah.
Yeah, like I know it's not the same thing, but in the first Command and Conquer game, you're given missions for the most part through through your commanding officer through cutscene FMV cutscenes.
Yeah.
And there was this one in the non-campaign where Seth, the guy who up till that point was giving you the missions for the non-campaign, was basically going to put you into a suicide mission by attacking the Pentagon. But then, Kane, the leader of Nod, shows up and shoots him through the head in the middle of his sentence. And also, and then it's just another thing, in a later game, a spin-off first-person shooter one, I've forgotten the name of it. Basically, Kane put his body up as a reminder to people: don't betray me, or you'll end up like this guy.
Fair enough.
And you can still see the bullet hole in his head.
Alright, let's see. It should be around here, around this part. There it is. 2 more to go. Gotta have the rule of 3, Jova.
Of course.
At least we don't seem to be that far away.
It could be worse. This is bad.
Still bad.
Wait, it's actually pronounced pistol.
Okay.
Oh snap, mini Metal Gears!
Yes, also, one of your powers that you can get as a Navi is to summon the fauna of Pandora in your help. It's not as great. I was literally just experimenting with this one. But it's good for a distraction, I guess. But considering you summon mostly just the dog variety of enemies, aside from being essentially minor bullet sponges, you might as well just invest in other powers like the agility or the healing. So there's that.
So essentially glorified Snow White powers.
Basically. Alright, 1 more to go.
Stay calm.
Sorry.
Just shake it off.
Yes, Lion O'Brien soldier, don't worry. There you go, there's the last one. How did you not actually find it? It was literally there in plain sight. Jeez.
I guess they were just looking in the wrong areas. And by wrong areas, I mean that they were.
I also didn't talk about this. The baton, the long baton, weapon for the Navi is cool because it has a longer range, but surprisingly it does less damage. So if you want to go CQC, you might as well just use the double blades because they're far more effective. There's a mini sort of combo system that you can see on the right, that if you feel like the bar under the number, you can get like a special move that you can perform. It's useful for tearing down vehicles actually, but again, mostly the blades one-shot humans most of the time. Alright, now that we have all of the shards, now we just need to arrive at the tree, and we should be able to actually sing the first song.
Nice. First, we shall sing the Song of Time.
And the song is...
Kid-san,
Despacito.
shards. You have done well, but I warn you, many songs we will need. One willow.
So what do you want me to do now? Get the song 1999?
Now, I
Gibbs,
shall
we
gather
need more
the
songs.
Well, I mean, we need songs that are related to time.
Okay,
Not a song with a year in it.
the cool thing about it is that, sure, you do get the cutscenes and everything, but you also need to do... okay, first you need to... Hold on.
We must draw harmonic from tree. Shards link with tree. Help find harmonic. Harmonics.
Also
help
the bloom,
find
Jesus.
well of souls.
Oh!
And Longore is dead.
Longore.
Uh-huh.
Thankfully Tanjala was here, otherwise you just know that the Dick Navi would have pinned this on us.
They killed him. What are we supposed to do now?
You finish. Draw harmonic.
Me? You've got to be kidding. I don't know anything about harmonics.
Enough talk. Draw harmonic.
Okay, so basically what you're supposed to do now is to place the crystals in the correct location around the tree. How do you do that? Like, where is the more ideal one? The actual controller will start vibrating more and more the more you reach the location in a hot and cold kind of situation, you know. And when you reach a point, it starts vibrating much more. So again, in a sort of a prototype similar to what the DualSense 5 does for the PlayStation 5 these days, you have to follow what the vibration tells, you know, how much accuracy you get. If I recall correctly, there's also a visual, you know, symbol, but the vibration is the more important one.
Mm-hmm. The Tree of Vision.
Remember, it's the teleporting, you know, mechanism. Here we go. Alright, let's see.
Time to put on a concert to save the world.
Sure.
So not too different from
You must
Sympho
place
Gear.
the shards. Listen to them. They must match the song.
Whatever you say.
Alright, there's also these the audio stuff, but again, you can see also for the screen shaking, again, the vibration is the aspect they enhance the most out of this sequence. There you go, 1.
Mm-hmm. Little bit.
2.
And
It's close.
3.
There you go.
What a beautiful song.
So, back to the base, partner, I guess.
I suppose.
I stand amazed. Lungore saw your spirit.
I sure
Would
sound
have been
amazed.
nice if he could
Sit
also
down,
have
old
seen
dear.
that bullet
This
coming.
is a good omen.
Yeah.
We must take this song back to Home Tree. Take counsel with Tahi. She will know of your deeds.
Word travels just that quickly.
And so this song is the Time Warp song from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my headcanon. On their way to this planet, the humans took songs from Earth to try and keep themselves keep their minds occupied, and also give them a little taste of home. But they dropped some of them, and the Na'vi have somehow been able to listen to them.
Okay. All right, let's go to a port. Almost there. There you go.
Even in these societies, there are
Temporary
stairs.
passing brings much sorrow, yet with sorrow comes hope. Am I to trust my ears? You have the song?
Don't know how, but yeah, I scored the harmonic, song, tune, jingle, whatever you want to call it.
Ewa smiles on you. Please, sing for me.
Sure.
Oh.
Can't I just hum a few bars?
Sing.
Or else we'll kill you.
Take this seriously.
Oh god, is this a mini game now?
No, actually, your character does that automatically. I would kind of like a rhythm game based for this sequence, but this is fine too.
Alright, let's hear it. Or
No, it's
that
just
was
a
it.
part. It's just part of the whole picture.
What a song! It rivals 4 minutes 33. That one with
It is
no
the
sounds
first
at
step
all.
in our path.
How many steps we got?
Find location is one step. Speaking to Ewa is another. This demands the Niauve Mokri, the first voice. Only the first voice awakens well of souls. Then all Navi may speak with Ewa. Once a generation, the Niauve Mokri walks among us. Impossible to say who it is. Could be you.
Of course it could be him.
Imagine.
Easy on the mumbo jumbo stuff. I'm just a sig-spec.
And yet the path to the sleeping well of souls becomes clearer. Speak to Tanjala. He will guide you to the next song.
Alright, that's what we need to do. Which we will do that in the next part, because again, one sector at a time. So see you for that.
See ya.
Yeah.